So, to my knowledge, the Mormon Bible is more so of it's about the living God.
It's me.
Yeah, the Mormon Bible is about the living God, and the living God. It's like I was okay. So there was a time where the villagers had less faith and they had hardened their hearts every time something didn't go their way. They hardened their hearts towards the situation.
Ouch.
And it always took one of the other villagers to basically uplift them. Just because things are going our way doesn't mean God isn't working. you know so the more this villager uplifted them, there was this time where they strung bow and arrows to capture their prey for food. And um and I guess the bow had broke because they said their brother's strength was uncontrollable. So they wound up losing faith. Like, oh my gosh, how are we going to get food now? Everything that's happening to us is a curse. Everything goes bad every time we do something good, or we basically get further ahead, than we were. There's always some type of setback. There's always something that happens that just makes us just, have to start all over again. So one of the villagers, one of the brothers came to him, and they also didn't understand. They was like, we don't understand our Father's word. We don't understand what God is doing. And they was just getting so aggravated towards the situation. And this brother that had more faith than the others were always getting upset at them because, again, you're hardening your hearts every time something doesn't go your way. Have faith. If you have faith, you'll have the patience to endure. You'll have the strength to endure. You'll be more understanding and more content with what's going on, and you'll figure it out. Eventually, you will figure it out if you just believe. And they just, they sat around moping, and while they sat around, the brother went out, and, he wound up creating a new bow. So he eventually came back, and he told his father, I have strung a new bow, I have put together a new bow, so that where may I go to go get this food that you want me, so that I can feed our family. So his father wound up, becoming, happy. His father was happy and glad and proud of his son, and he went inside to pray and ask for forgiveness for hardening their hearts. So this part is where, God instructs this villager how to make a boat so that he can go out and get food that way. Instead of relying on, this boat to always, instead of either, relying on this boat and eventually it breaking again, or giving him access, to not always just use the bow, but to go elsewhere so that you can find food. But also, his bow is also to guide them elsewhere to the promised land, so directing them to the promised land as well. So yeah, when he had become upset, he basically, his brothers was about to, grab him when he admitted that he had the Holy Spirit. He was filled with the divine presence of God. So it's like he was telling them this, and I guess they were about to grab him, and he turned around quickly, and he believed in himself enough. God, believing in God has gave him the courage to stand up to those who are trying to hurt him. So the more that he believed in God, the more that he believed in himself enough to fight them off. And they looked at him and they was like, wow, oh snap, what has gotten into you? And they got fear. They was fearful to even put their hands on him. They stopped right where they are. And he was telling them, you are not to touch me. God commands you not to touch me. And this is basically what the Mormon Bible is about. It's about relying on God and relying on God to guide you, to instruct you. And the more you believe in God, the more you believe in yourself. But you also have to keep in mind that without God, you are not as powerful. You are not as strong. So in order to be a part of, in order to be of the living God and be of Christ and build this faith and become the living God is having so much faith and having so much, passion towards God and as well as yourself, because God is working through you. And the more that God works through you, you believe in you as well as God, because God is in me. So therefore, anything that comes against me will not come against me, because I believe. And it's like the more you believe in God, the more the divine presence, of God starts to project out of your being, of your flesh. And this is what it means to be of the living God, So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. But the difference I feel like between the Bible and the Mormon Bible is the Living Testament is more so of making you more courageous towards life, towards the world, having this gleam in your eyes and of things of this world, learning to work with the world. As for the regular Bible is, don't be of this world. I am not of this world. If the world hates you, the world first hated me. So it's just like, don't believe in these things of the world, but believe in me. And, look away from the world. But the Mormon Bible more so talks about working with the world, the things of this world, working with the things of this world through God and through faith. So it's kind of like I was getting more so love of the world from the Mormon Bible and not love of the world from the regular Bible. But I feel like it's more compassion for the world in the Mormon Bible. You have more compassion for the world. As for the regular Bible, is more so of, I tolerate you. The Mormon Bible is more so of, believing in yourself and believing in God through you. I understand this Bible so much because once upon a time I felt like I was in that mindset. As long as I believed in God, I believed in myself. Therefore, nothing can, come against me. I will not become weak. I will always be strong because God is my strength, But the regular Bible is more about discernment, having that discernment. It's more about teaching you discipline, and it's, structuring you. It's about structure and boundaries towards the world, having that boundary towards the world, in all that you do. I don't know. It's really interesting. I'm getting into it, and this is what I'm figuring out so far, but, I still have a long way to go between the two, but that is how far I've gotten, and it's just really, really interesting. So like I said, God instructs you, and you just have to believe in God's instruction. Believe in God's creation. Believe in God first, because, God is the creator of his creation. So therefore, you always just have to keep in mind God in all that you do. But this is kind of hard because pride and ego, your ego just, wants to get in the way of God. Your ego wants to take the place of God. And this is how the world fell. This is how angels fall. This is how you fall. And your faith fall is by believing that you are God, are a vessel for God. Don't confuse the situation as in, I'm more, I'm God, and that's how Satan was, You got to give credit where credit is due, Holistic, all messed up. So yeah, as long as you keep this in mind, you will be fine. But as soon as you start taking all the credit for yourself, that's when that divine essence and that love of God just goes away, because when you become too proud and your pride becomes, and your pride is just, over God, then that's when God leaves you, So don't become too proud. Always remain humble, because, God is with you. God works through you. And you just got to always keep that in mind. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Like I said, I got a long way to go. I still got some learning to do, but that's how far I have reached. So, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, be notified, share at your own free will to show you care.